Windows 11 can now officially run on Apple's M1 and M2 Macs. Kind of. Microsoft has partnered with Parallels to enable virtualized ARM versions of Windows 11 to run on Apple's latest Macs. This means that the users of these Macs can run Windows 11 in a virtual environment. Just like you can experience the tech news virtually by following this channel. Now, this is the ARM version of Windows 11, so some games and apps might not be supported, but the OS also has x64 emulation, so most apps should run fine. Also, if you didn't know there was an ARM version of Windows, not just the normal x86 version, that's probably because Microsoft hasn't made the ARM version publicly available, but they have provided it to various OEMs over the years. So, pretty exciting news for Mac users that might also need access to Windows, because for instance, if you work at a company, there might be a piece of software that you can only use on a Windows machine, but you use a Mac, so you need to sort of have a secondary Windows laptop just for like that specific software, or you can use the online version of Windows that Microsoft provides. But at the end of the day, obviously, you're gonna have to keep paying for that on a regular basis. Who really knows how secure your data actually is with Microsoft? And obviously, there's latency. But this is also very exciting because the thing is, Microsoft has not been sharing their ARM version of Windows with anyone pretty much. It has existed for quite a few years, but it has just never been publicly available. A few projects got the license, and there was a special Windows 10 ARM version made for those projects. I believe there was a Windows 10 version for the Raspberry Pi, and so on. And the thing is, an ARM version of Windows could be very exciting and pretty cool, because the thing is, ARM, the newer instruction set, does have a few advantages over the x86 platform, which is what Intel and AMD actually make, whereas ARM, those are the kinds of CPUs that we have in our phones, for instance. And generally, they just run way more efficiently. For instance, the new M2 laptops from Apple max out at about 20 watts with their M2 ARM-based processors, whereas the new heavy-duty Intel and AMD laptop chips can go like 35, 45, 80 watts, all that sort of stuff. So a lot more heat, a lot more power for the x86 platform. So having an ARM version of Windows would be very exciting, because then you could just really have another Windows machine, an ARM-based Windows machine, that would just be very much more efficient. It would be probably as efficient as the Apple machines, which would be pretty cool. But the super insanely cool part that is probably not going to happen if we actually got a hybrid version of Windows that was able to run x86 and ARM at the same time, because then we could actually get CPUs that would have the x86 instruction set, but also the ARM instruction set. So you would have your beefy x86 cores for executing heavy-duty programs like gaming, for example, and then you would have your ARM cores that you could just use for web browsing and watching videos and working in Microsoft Office, for example. So that would be super cool. Now, will it happen ever? Who knows, probably not. With Microsoft's current track record with their Windows 11 updates, that is not going to be happening anytime soon, just because that would be quite a nightmare with implementation, because there would have to be tons of virtualization and all of that sort of stuff. It would really just be a headache. It would take a lot in just development time and development costs. And, well, like I said a lot before in the past, pretty much every other week we get another issue with Windows 11 about another bug that has come up from a random update that Microsoft did. So when they just can't really regularly update their already normal OS and not cause major issues, undertaking something like that would be very cool, but probably very unlikely as well.